What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Dere podcast. And boy, what a trouble this one has been, guys. So, yesterday, as you can see, we're doing another Duocast recording. And yesterday, when me and Aaron had done this, it all went perfectly fine. You know, we had a pretty good conversation and everything. And when I went to look at the audio, the thing didn't record. And we just did like an hour-long blank audio file because I changed mics and it didn't pick up my new headset. So that was fun. And then to try to amends that, I tried to do a little shorter recording of just me talking and trying to recall everything that happened in the podcast that day. And instead of just having a blank picture, you know, in the background while I talked to y'all, I wanted to like kind of throw a little entertainment in there. So I throw some Osu gameplay on there. And got flagged for copyright, so that's just the best, adding insult to injury. But anyways, as always, my name's Tyler.
Yeah, and I'm Aaron.
But you're saying you're surprised?
Yeah, I was actually surprised that it got flagged for copyright because, I mean, what were we flagged for again? Music or visuals?
It was the video. Like, so
really?
On the Osu gameplay, I had I'd played through the openings or whatever of the spring season shows we were all watching because I figured like keep it relevant. And you know, if you don't know what Osu is, go look it up. It's pretty fun. And there are tons of other Osu videos on the internet, so I don't know why mine was flagged, but it was. So I tried to keep it relevant and had the opening, and I guess the opening visuals got caught by the content ID search or whatever, and they were just like, no, we cannot show this video worldwide, blah blah blah, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't want to deal with this right now. So, yeah, it wasn't even worth trying to dispute it because it was just, yeah. So we just kind of scratched that, deleted it, and here we are again. Back to bring you the re-recording of our Duocast.
Yeah, I just woke up like less than an hour ago, so I'm not sure how this is going to go.
We'll wing it just a little bit. I had Chick-fil-A this morning, though. That's pretty good.
Oh, dude, Chick-fil-A breakfast is like really good.
I know.
Right? Everyone thinks I'm crazy for liking chicken for breakfast, but it's like actually really good.
I could not agree more.
Also, sorry if the sound is like not as good as it usually is. I'm not recording from where I usually record. I recently moved across the country, so I don't live where I used to live anymore. And yeah.
Still a work in progress.
Yeah, I have a different mic and everything.
But besides all this, want to start off with the summer shows now? Or do you
you want to start with the summer shows?
We can do questions first. Do you have
Alright, okay. Alright, so our first question, and we took all of these questions except for the very last one from our YouTube videos because I feel like we haven't been doing too many user questions. Well, we've only been doing like, what, one per episode? So, you know, this is just going to be like a mass question. And Tyler, if you want to like go in and flash the question on the screen, you can do that.
Yeah, that's what I had for the one video before it got flagged for copyright.
And if you want to like show pictures of whatever you and I talk about, that's pretty cool too. I mean, this is like a special thing. So our first question is, do you watch the OVAs, ONAs, specials, movies from the anime TV shows that you've watched? Why or why not? Any notable ones that were really good?
And my choice is no, not really, because when I watch shows, I usually watch it on like Crunchyroll, and I like having all my shows in one spot. I don't like going off of Crunchyroll. It's just not something I like, you know, personally. So when an OVA is usually not on Crunchyroll, I'm not inclined to leave Crunchyroll to go watch it, even though I really enjoyed the show. But if I hear that the OVA is like really good, like it's like a must see, then yeah, I'll go watch it. But I don't really like to leave Crunchyroll is all. So I can stay in my little forte.
For me, I don't use Crunchyroll whatsoever. I use Kiss Anime, and which means that I pretty much have like a lot of anime at my disposal. I can just type it in a search bar and I'm there. The thing is, though, I tend to only watch the OVAs and the specials for shows that I really, really like. For instance, the Rail Deck series. I've watched, I think, all of the specials for that. And it's a series that I really enjoy. Seitokai no Yakindomo, aka Sex Jokes the Anime. I watched all the OVAs for that as well. Um, it's and if it's like a if all the extra content comes from a show that's like really really long, I'll probably hold off on watching it. An example of this would probably be The Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which is one of my favorite shows. But there's like a good amount of extra content that I'm saving for later. And I'm currently doing like a summer challenge where I watch all of the Detective Conan stuff
God bless your
over the
soul.
summer. Yeah, and if you
God
don't
bless your
know,
soul.
Detective Conan is insanely long. It's like 780 episodes. There are 19 movies, almost 20. Um, and there are 10 OVAs. So I got my work cut out for me. And I usually wouldn't do this, but I mean, I'm going to college in the fall, so YOLO, am I right? Yeah. So for the second part, any notable ones that were really good? There's one in particular that stands out, which is from Attack on Titan. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's an OVA. I think it's the second OVA. Well, anyways, it's called Elise's Notebook, and while I don't really care for any of the other OVAs in from Attack on Titan, Elisa's Notebook is actually kind of relevant. Actually, no, it's not kind of. It's actually really relevant to the plot, and like it gives you a really good reveal, and it just blows your mind. The manga, I think Elisa's Notebook in the manga was like a half chapter, and it was really good in the manga as well. But the anime makes it better, which is really really awesome. So you should actually not you should. So that's one that was really good, and I still remember it, and I think back to it all the time, and it's just really nice. What about you, Tyler?
I'll have to look that one up eventually, but my notable choice would be the Clannad OVAs with Tomoyo's arc and Kyo's arc. I really liked those two girls, and it was nice seeing their little arcs, even though it was one short animation. But hey, you can't get what you want all the time, so especially with visual novel adaptations.
Yeah, visual novels.
I just really liked their arc a lot, so being able to see it animated too, even though it wasn't like the main story, was
So,
nice.
have you read the visual novel for Clannad?
Yes and no. I've read most of it. I haven't read all of it.
Okay,
So I think like I finished like three of the girls' routes plus After Story because I wanted to read that.
okay.
But yeah, those are my notable ones. So next question we had up was anime with the best soundtrack, and I think that soundtrack obviously is probably one of the most important things of an anime, like easily, because you can always just like sit here and recall music and be like, yeah, I remember this fight scene with this music, like Attack on Titan for instance, like the female Titan running, and just the big bombardment of orchestra music or whatever. God bless, I get chills every time. But yeah, just my shows would be Guilty Crown, Your Lie in April, and probably Attack on Titan, honestly, because it was just so good.
My choices. It's funny that you bring up two shows that had soundtracks done by the legendary Hiroyuki Sawano. Um, if you don't know who this guy is, he's pretty much a musical genius. Well, not like Beethoven or like Mozart, but like he's really good at making awesome sounding soundtracks, and he never really fails at it too, which is something that is like incredible. Um, I guess I kind of consider Awari no Seraph soundtrack a failure. I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing, so I can't really judge, but I just know that Sawano is known for making really like in his soundtracks. There's usually one or two songs that like have really heavy moments, such as like the dank meme of the Sawano drop, which came from All No Zero season one at the very end when New Orleans literally gets blown up in a nuclear explosion. Um, nuclear explosion, and it's uh, it's the Sawano drop, and people know what it is. And Wari no Seraph didn't have any moments like that. Then again, I could have just forgotten, so I'm gonna go back and listen to the soundtrack. But, anyways, anime with the best soundtracks. All No Zero. I have the soundtrack on my phone. I listen to it literally every day. It's that good. Like it just man, I get obsessive with music. Like once I find some songs that I like, I just listen to them on repeat every day. I never get tired of them.
All right, okay, I'm about to say like you kind of like one of those people that just like listen to a song till like it's beat to the ground and you just hate it afterwards.
I don't hate songs afterwards. I just keep listening to them because they're really good.
Gotcha, gotcha.
um, the next one is Kill a Kill. Kill a Kill
I'm
is
looking
really
at it right now. It's by
fucking
the same
good.
guy, right?
Yeah,
Sawano.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sawano.
A
It's
plus.
really fucking good.
Uh-huh.
Something I will admit about Sawano is that up until Kill a Kill, I overall liked his soundtracks, but I liked one or two songs more than all the other songs in the soundtrack. The same goes for Attack on Titan and Guilty Crown. But once Kill a Kill's soundtrack hit, I loved pretty much every song on the original soundtrack, and that like marked a turnaround, I guess, because after Kill a Kill, All Noah Zero came out, and I fucking loved like 90% of the music on that soundtrack, or at least a good amount, more than I'd liked before. So Kill a Kill is one of those. The third one is gonna surprise a lot of people. The soundtrack for Valvrave the Liberator is one of my favorites. I mean, admittedly, it's not as like intense as Sawano's music, but if you watch the show, you'll notice that the soundtrack fits really, really well, and it has like a classical feel. I'm not a fan of classical music, which is probably why Your Lie in April was not. It didn't really resonate with me.
This
But
happens.
I mean, yeah. But anyways, it has a classical feel, but it's my phone categorizes the music as classical. But it's music is really meshed with the story and the events happening on screen, which is why I really, really like it. I mean, this probably makes no sense to people who haven't seen the show, but yeah, I mean, it's just one of my favorite soundtracks.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, so you want to start off with the next question?
Yeah. What are your thoughts slash views on the use of CGI animation in anime? And this question has multiple parts. The second part is what our thoughts are on its use and how it can be used better in the future.
Um, well, I don't really watch a lot of heavily CGI animations, but notable ones I have watched, like Out No Zero or whatever, I really didn't see a problem with it. Sure, kind of like it could have been hand drawn and it might have flowed more smoothly, but I really didn't see a problem with it. So I'm just kind of on that neutral level when it comes to CGI. I haven't seen things like what is it, Knights of Sidonia or Show by Rock, so I couldn't say if those were any good or not when it comes to CGI. But yeah, that's my thoughts or views on it.
What about the second part, or do you want to address that later?
We can address that later.
Okay, well, I, on the other hand, have seen Knights of Sidonia, and I've seen a lot of anime that use CGI. My biggest problem with CGI, I mean, I think it's fine, I guess, but my biggest problem with it is that a lot of shows are really lazy with CGI, and this is especially apparent in the mecha genre. If you go back and watch shows like Neon Genesis Evangelion and Gunbuster and all those classic, and even Code Geass. I believe Code Geass didn't have CGI mechs, but anyways, if you go back and watch those shows, the mechs are hand drawn, and they're actually really the mechs, especially the mechs in Evangelion. They're really detailed. Um, and I understand that CGI is sometimes used as a way to save time and money when making a show, and that's fine, I guess. But like when something that important, like in a mecha show, your mechs are important. You shouldn't be being lazy and just dragging a 3D model onto a 2D plane. Like it doesn't fit. And like if you're gonna use CGI, I guess what you should do is either be really, really good at it so that it doesn't look as bad, like hide it somehow, or you can camouflage it, I guess. I mean, it's hard to really say that without, showing examples, but
Hmm.
um or you can just go full CGI, which is not really a bad idea. Because Knights of Sidonia, one of the main reasons why it looks fine is because everything is in CG. So there's no like you have to be consistent, or you like yeah you do have to be consistent with CGI because like there's nothing more jarring I think than watching an anime with all this hand drawn greatness, and then all of a sudden you get to like a say like a fight scene and it's all done in really bad CGI, and you're like, well, what the fuck? That looks like shit. And this was the case with a show that aired back in the spring of 2014 called Black Bullet. One of the biggest
Lolly
problems with
Death
that show,
Simulator.
yeah, fuck that show. I hate it so much. And one of the biggest problems, actually, no, it wasn't. The biggest problem was with the story, but a big problem with the show was that the CGI looked like shit. So in the final battle, the main monster, Aldebaran, literally looked like a goddamn potato. And when I was watching the show, I started laughing because it was so bad. Like, I'm probably hyping this up, but when you were watching a shitty anime for 12 weeks or 13 weeks and then this shit happens, I just could not contain myself. I just started laughing. And that's not like bad CGI can that just shows how bad CGI can ruin a show because in the final episode your characters are ready to sacrifice their lives for humanity, and I'm sitting here fucking laughing my ass off. Like, come on.
Because you saved a little bit of budget on CGI.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure all of the monsters were CGI too.
I think so.
Yeah, and it just annoyed the shit out of me. Like, it's really bad. I mean,
But,
but some shows can do CGI really well, like Edotama. Edotama, I believe, is half hand drawn, half CGI. I know that the battles are in CGI, and it actually looks really good, or at least pretty good. Shows or movies, like I said, that use full CGI, like Expelled from Paradise, they actually look like hand drawn animation for a good amount of time. And I was actually fooled into thinking it was hand drawn. I actually forgot it was CG, which shows that we're getting better. It's getting there.
one
And
day.
what?
I said one day.
Yeah, one day. I mean, we're getting there because Edo Tama looks pretty good.
Hmm.
As for the second part, what would your how can it be better used in the future?
Um,
Uh, I mean,
well, I think that it's more like if we can make these CGI, like obviously people relate CGI to mech genre a lot because that's kind of like how it's done a lot most of the time. Editama being like another what is it, exclusive. But so if like we can make these like mech sort of things look like they're drawn, like hand drawn, and have it flow together with the 2D elements of the previously hand drawn part of the show, I think that's how we make CGI like a very, very viable option in the future for animation. But they can't be colliding. They have to go hand in hand together and look good. They can't just be like, oh hey, we got 2D. Oh my god, what is this potato monster coming at me now? Like they have to go hand in hand. So I think that's my thoughts on how it can be better used in the future.
Before I answer the second part, a little fun fact. If you've seen Old Noah Zero, you probably know that all the mechs are CG. However, there is one mech in the entire goddamn show that is not CG, and it's the Solus, or the Solus, which is the hammerhead looking one that shoots the laser beams, which is also like the coolest mech. And it's probably because it's not CG. It actually looks really good. So that's a little fun fact. But anyways, I mean, CG. To answer the second part, CG is a technique. I'll say, and with all techniques, they'll get better with time. I mean, I give CG a lot of shit, but it hasn't been around for a whole long time. As on the other hand, hand-drawn animation has been around ever since animation was a thing. So I mean, we just got to give it time, I guess. And in the future, it'll get better and better until it actually, you can insert it into a 2D show and it'll actually look pretty good. I mean, you'll never get past it looking weird or people noticing that it's CG, but with as time passes, technology gets better. Um, it has a chance to be actually pretty good. Um, I guess that's how I feel about it. It's just a technique. We just got to be patient and wait for it to get better.
Itatama being a good look into what could possibly be in the future. Like you said, the fight scenes are a lot better
Hmm.
while being also 2D. So I think that's a big part too. It's gonna help a lot going into the future. But is that all?
Let me think. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Alrighty. So last question we have here is what have you purchased in relation to anime, and what are your thoughts on the availability and price range of anime related merchandise?
I'll go with this one. I don't own a whole lot of anime merchandise. Contrary, like you would think that I would own a lot because I've seen the most anime on this podcast. I've been into anime probably a lot longer than
A lot of us, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've been watching anime since I was a kid, but um, I only own three. I guess technically like 20 if you count all the manga that I received as a gift. But I didn't buy any of my merchandise. I didn't steal it, but I didn't buy it. They were all gifts to me. I own a wall scroll, an Alt No Zero wall scroll that looks really, really good. Um, I own a DVD set of Detective Conan. I think it's the first season, and funnily enough, it's censored. So all of the weapons and like all the blood, it's censored, which is really funny.
How does
And
that work actually?
I don't know. I mean, the DVDs are in Korean.
Hmm.
My grandfather actually bought it for me, and I think the TV broadcast laws in Korea that year or something were like really strict because I remember watching Detective Conan in Korea and it was not censored, so I don't really know what happened there. Um, I also own 17 volumes of the Detective Conan manga. Um, they're all in Korean. I think one volume I translated myself into English by like writing in what they were saying in the speech bubbles. I got kind of bored one day, so I decided to do that. I'm not sure why. But yeah, that's all I own actually, and I I guess I kind of want to buy more, but at the same time, I don't really want to spend money. Like I'm rolling in the dough right now, but I just don't feel like spending money on anime related
Nothing stands
merchandise.
out to you as must
Yeah, I mean,
have.
I guess you could count Yu-Gi-Oh cards as anime related merchandise. I own a shit ton of those. Um, yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta
Yep. All right. So what about you, man?
do. Oh man, like I said, you make me look like a weeaboo. So, at the moment, I have 5 wall scrolls. One being Hatsune Miku and Friends, Fate Zero, Bleach, SAO, and Naruto. And after that, I've got a bunch of DVDs. So I've got SAO's 4 box sets on Blu-ray and DVD, and I've got Steins Gate, and I've got all 4 seasons of Yu Yu Hakusho, all on Blu-ray, and Clannad After Story on Blu-ray. So,
How much did those cost you?
which ones?
The Sora Online box set,
The Sword Online box set, they're about 80 each, so like
like
360, I think.
320.
320, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I definitely would not buy a box set. I mean, they are dubbed slash subbed, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So,
You
yeah, I
get what you
mean,
pay for.
if
Like,
it was like that, I guess. But like, streaming is a thing. So,
wait, what did you
I
say is the
mean,
thing?
streaming. You can
Streaming.
just go on Kiss Anime and rewatch the show.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I
I
like
mean,
having physical
yeah,
copies.
support the industry, blah blah blah. I mean, uh, I was gonna comment about paying with your wallet or voting with your wallet, but I won't because that'd be awkward.
But,
Because I'm pretty sure you guys know how I feel about current trends in anime.
they're, bad, good, pretty bad.
Um, yeah, mostly bad,
Gotcha.
but that's not the focus of this
We'll,
uh,
we'll come back to that another
Duocast.
time. But,
Um,
thoughts and
so
availability and price range of
yeah,
anime-related merchandise. My thoughts, like I said, I bought the 4 boxes, $80 a piece, $320. Like, that's a lot of money. A lot.
yeah, that's a
So,
shitload of money. Um,
I feel that it's like, it's a hobby, so, if you want, like, good quality items for your hobby, you gotta pay pretty high dollar. And since, like, it's not a super popular hobby that a lot of people do, it's a lot more jacked up because there's not as much money going into it. So,
yeah, it's a pretty. I mean, even now, it's pretty niche. So of course, prices are gonna have to be really, really high for vendors to make their money back.
hmm
In terms of availability, I feel like it's gotten better. Um, yeah, I definitely feel like it's gotten better over the years because of the internet and anime, particularly Attack on Titan and Sora Online getting more popular. So more goods, blah blah
more people
blah.
coming into the fandom.
Yeah, and then buying said goods.
hmm
So that's nice. And so is that all you have to say?
Uh, yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. That's basically my thoughts on it.
In my opinion, it's more than niche. I mean, you can still pay like $20 for a figure, but it turns out it's like a fake or something. So, well, yeah, I just think it's like it's because it's a niche audience, got to pay a lot of money because,
They
so like
gotta
a
make
little,
money.
yeah,
Capitalists. Let's
we're
go.
gonna go on a little tangent, I guess, and talk about conventions real quick. Um, Tyler, you and I have been to one convention in our whole lives. You've been to a convention that's a lot bigger than mine.
I went to
So,
Otakon last year,
yeah,
just for FYI.
yeah. So, how was your experience?
Um, Otakon was obvious. It was probably like the funnest time I've had in a long time. Like, people go to amusement parks and they like get like hyped or whatever, get fun going on rides. Like, I go to amusement parks a lot, but I just going to a convention for only 3 days. My God, it was like the funnest thing ever. There's just so many people. Like, obviously I went to Otakon, so it's one of the bigger ones. But there were just so many people cosplaying. Like, I felt out of place myself, just like not being in a cosplay because everyone else was cosplaying. Like, that's how many people were there, and it was awesome because everyone was just taking pictures of each other. Everyone was like having fun, showing off their hard work on their cosplays, and then like the panels and everything. They were very entertaining and informative. A lot of them too. So it was just a fun time all the way around. Like, I really enjoyed it. But your thoughts were a little bit different, right?
Yeah, I went to OhioCon, which is not nearly as big as OtaCon. I live in LA now, which is where Anime Expo is hosted, and it's the biggest anime convention in the country. And actually, it's coming up pretty soon. I think July 2nd to July 5th. I think. But anyways, OhioCon was really small. So, and I was only there for a day because I didn't have a whole lot of money. To attend for one day, it cost $40. I was not rolling in the dough back then. I was kind of poor, but so my experience is probably not optimal. So I'm not saying that OhioCon sucked, but it
He was only there
wasn't.
for one day. Yeah.
Yeah, I was only there for one day. I went with a friend who doesn't like anime, which is really surprising. But he still had a decent time. I mean, he went to a bunch of. I mean, he's half Japanese, so he knows what anime is and all that. I mean, he knows Miyazaki and all that. Um, the panels I went to were, for the most part, disappointing. They were mostly like crash courses on the shows that they were presenting. Like Girls in Panzer, I was ready for like some in-depth discussion about the world, all that. What I got was a PowerPoint explaining the the individual schools and the tanks, and I couldn't help but think, wait, why are you telling stuff that we as fans already know? So that, I mean, the hosts were entertaining enough to make it worthwhile, but some other panels were not as lucky, such as the MMO panel, which was really stupid, and I regret standing in line for that. Um, but other than that, being going to my first con ever was actually really eye opening. I did not know that there were that many people who were interested in anime living in Ohio. Like we're it was kind of weird. Attendance attendance wise, I think 2015 was the biggest year. I don't have exact numbers, but I feel like there were at least 1,500 people, or not 1,500, 15,000 people there, which is a good amount. Um,
Definitely.
how many people were at Otakon
Oh, dude, I have
last
no
year?
idea. Um, I know that they capped out ticket sales. Sounds like I can look it up real fast. You keep talking.
Um, unfortunately, there weren't that many big industry names there. Um, one of the main reasons why I wanted to go to a con was because I could, meet industry people, talk to them, blah blah blah, hear what they have to say. It's really interesting to do stuff like that. Um, unfortunately, OhioCon mostly attracts English producers, so like English voice actors, and I don't really watch dubs myself, so I didn't really have a reason to go to any of the Q&As. Uh, at Anime Expo, however, this year they have the director of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works and Saber's voice actress coming to the convention. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Unlimited Blade Works, but it's still pretty cool. And I believe you, Tyler, don't you have a? Didn't you meet the director of Sora Online
I did.
at Otakon? Yeah, and you guys
So,
autographed.
last year at Otakon, the director of Sword Art Online and also the director of Irregular Magic High School, because at the time of Otakon, that was still releasing an airing show or whatever, so like they were trying to like advertise that a little bit, but everyone was there for Sword Art Online. Let's be real. So he we there was a Q&A panel with him and whatever, and people were asking about like God, what were some of the questions? I know one of them was really funny. Like someone went up there and was like, "Who was best girl?" and the guy said Asuna, obviously. I was like, yes. But
Oh God.
no, it was a fun time. Everyone was just kind of chill, some of them were some pretty serious questions, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But after the Q&A session, there was an autograph session, and I went there and gotten I had a small like I'm trying to think of this dimensions. It's like 12 inches by like 24 or something, like poster or whatever. Like like paper size, a little bit bigger than paper size poster of Asuna and Kirito. And I had two separate ones or whatever, and I got them both signed. So I'm
That's
trying to
pretty
hang
awesome.
those up one day,
Yeah.
but they're
I
sitting on
don't
my
I don't
desk.
like Sword Art Online, but the fact that he got the director's signature is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh, just saying, if Anime Expo ever gets Gen Urobuchi to come down and like host a panel, I will be there in like 5 seconds. I don't even care if the tickets cost like $100. I will be there. I will get him to sign everything I own.
Sign my shoe, please. Thanks.
Yeah.
I need this.
That also goes for some of my favorite voice actors. I don't know their names off the top of my head, but if they're at Anime Expo, I will give all the money. I'll pay all the money to go see them.
Hmm.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, the one panel that I was moderately impressed with slash really enjoyed was the God damn it, Monogatari panel. I mean, most
Okay.
people at the panel called it Monogatari, which whatever. I mean, pronunciation doesn't really matter. But Monogatari panel, the we did like a lot of meta stuff, like talking about who is best girl. We read part of the light novel as the actual scene, corresponding scene, was playing on screen, which was pretty interesting.
Did it go hand in hand, or was there like disconnections between the two?
Yeah, it was actually the panty scene in the very beginning of Bakemonogatari, when Hanekawa comes out onto the sidewalk and Araragi looks and then the wind lifts up her skirt and he sees her panties.
Great
Um,
stuff. Great stuff.
yeah, so overall my time at OhioCon, was it worth $40? Not really. I didn't get to buy anything because I didn't have money. I was impressed though with the amount of anime merchandise that was, presented at the convention. They have like a dealer room, which is not where they sell drugs. It's just like,
Unfortunately,
yeah, I mean, they might as well be because the
the
shit they were
price
selling
is
was
there. Yeah.
expensive. They just converted a ballroom. They brought all the stuff in. They sell swords at the dealer room, and I was like, who the hell would pay money for this?
Funny
Like
you should
me?
mention that. My one of my best friends or whatever, he's been going to Otakon a lot more than me because he's been in anime a lot longer than me. But he always like walks by the booth or whatever with the swords, and he's always just like, "Oh my god, that one's so badass! I need it." I'm just like, "No, you don't need it. It's just gonna hang up in your room or in your closet. You don't need to waste your money on it." He's like, "But I need it." I'm just like, "No, I don't understand you sometimes, man."
Yeah. A bunch of artists also came. They were on the upper level of the ballroom, and they were selling their pictures slash comic or advertising their manga or whatever. That was pretty cool to see. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't get to buy anything because I didn't have money. So overall, the experience was all right. I wouldn't I wouldn't categorize it as worth $40, but I definitely would go to a con again. But it would have to be a really big one with like a bunch of big names.
Hmm. But speaking of the dealer's room or whatever, like you said, you take a ballroom and you just put a bunch of booths there with anime merchandise. It's like I'm a kid on Christmas. Like when I walk into this room and there's just all this anime stuff, like all of it. So many booths, so many people like looking at stuff, and it's just like it takes your breath away for a second, and then it's just like, all right, let's go look at it all. So I spent a good amount of time walking around in there and wasting money on stuff. Oh yeah, speaking of anime merchandise, I just remembered. Do clothing count?
I guess, yeah.
All right, so I've got a bunch of shirts with anime stuff on it, but that's beside the
Actually,
point.
I think I own a shirt. I own a Kill la Kill shirt.
I
That's pretty
own
cool.
at Otakon or whatever. I had bought the No Game No Life shirt, the Sora one, like Our Hurry Humanity.
Hmm.
I bought that one, and then I've got a Captain Levi shirt and a bunch of other stuff. But I don't know, it's fun. But oh god, I probably look a huge weeaboo now. Okay. What else?
So that I think that wraps up all of the user questions.
Oh, one more thing though about the convention. So, obviously, like, you see Crunchyroll makes an appearance at these things, like these big industries for the United States or whatever make appearances a lot. And Funimation had actually brought, what is it? They had premiered the One Piece Battle of Z dub movie there, So I watched that. That was
Oh yeah,
badass.
screenings. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the main reasons I wanted to go to Anime Expo because they do a lot of screenings there, and I love watching shows
Yeah, there was
in
a bunch of
advance.
shows. Like, what is it? Um, so I had my dad with me, obviously, because I wasn't allowed to go by myself last year, and he had so they had Funimation also brought the dubbing, the first four episodes of the Kill la Kill dub that they were making before it released on Toonami. So
Hmm.
they were showing that off as well, and I had watched the first four episodes, and he had also sat through it or whatever. And Kill la Kill being that like whole fan service, fucking like transforming and fighting people with tap scissors. Like I was like, oh my god, my dad just watched this. What's he gonna think of me now? And he walked out or whatever with me. He was just like, that was pretty interesting. I was like, you say so? He's like, yeah, it was actually really cool. Like I kind of want to watch more of it. And I was like, oh my god, he doesn't think I'm a retard. He doesn't think I'm weird. So that was a
Hmm.
pretty relief, but it was pretty funny. But yeah, they had a bunch of screens. Like they had these giant like theater rooms or whatever, and they were like showing episodes. Like they had the first four episodes of a regular Magic High School showing. They had the first four episodes of you know, yeah, we're gonna say it anyway. All right, so at midnight on one of the nights or whatever, they had the first four episodes of Bible Black showing.
Oh God, you were you actually there
No, I
or
didn't watch it.
did you? Okay, okay.
No, I'm not 18 years old, man. But
God damn it.
it is funny because I
I, on the
remember.
other hand, am 18 years old.
Yeah,
Uh, Definitely wouldn't go to one of those though.
why not, man? I think it was so funny because I remember I was in line the day after, like the night after it happened or whatever, and I was in line and someone in front of me was just like, "Yeah, dude, it was so funny. Like, you see people lining up to go watch this Bible Black show, like they think it's gonna be badass and like fighting or whatever, and super gory, so it's 18 plus, and then you just see them running out of the room when they
I
figure
mean,
out
I'm
what it
pretty sure
is."
most people know that Bible Black is a hentai at this point.
At this point, you'd hope so, but apparently some people didn't.
Oh my God, of course.
But
So
I think that's it. Yeah.
yeah, so that wraps up our user questions. I'm sorry if this feels like kind of scripted. I mean, Tyler knows what I'm going to say. I know what he's going to say because this obviously the second recording.
Ah, kill me,
Um,
please. I
I
cannot.
really,
I cannot stress how stressful last night was when like between trying to get the recording to like not be blank or whatever and trying to re-record and then upload it and then getting flagged for copyright. Oh my god. My
yeah,
blood
it's.
pressure was so high last night.
I really wish that we had the original recording because I really enjoyed.
I really enjoyed that one
Yeah.
too. It was really upsetting that it's not. Too
But
bad.
to make up for that, we have one last thing.
This was
Um,
not in the original recording. Haha.
yeah, so we're going to talk a little about the summer season and what we're excited about. Um, I mean, we obviously can't talk about the spring season because we're kind of waiting for a finale, which I am very excited for. Um, if you want to know how I feel about the spring season, I'm not going to talk about that here. Really, just go on Twitter and ask me or whatever. But yeah, so summer 2015, it's going to be a fun time. I hope. Um, so we're just going to talk a little about shows that we are excited for. So Tyler, you can do the first one.
We're just gonna go one show at a time or what?
Um, do you want to go one show at a time? I mean,
Maybe we can go one show at a time and go back and forth because you have the NHR list up, right?
yeah, I do.
All right, let's go left from right down the list and we'll see what we choose. So,
I mean, you don't have to do like you don't have to talk about every show, but just like the ones that are really cool to you.
really good. Yeah, yeah. So, I think the first one that I'm pretty hyped for, or it looks pretty good, would be Chaos Dragon.
That's actually one of mine.
Sekiru Seniki. I don't know. But,
If you don't know anything about Chaos Dragon, it was originally called Red Dragon, and I actually learned this from OhioCon. There was a panel about light novels, and the person who was presenting told me about Red Dragon, which is they brought five really well known writers slash directors slash producers, whatever. They brought five of them together, of which Gen Urobuchi, Narita, and Kiniko Nazu, those three were in the group. They all played D&D together, and then they wrote a novel based on their adventure. And to be honest, that actually sounds really kick ass. And they're making an anime out of it, which is really interesting. I really want to see this.
I actually didn't know that. Damn, that's pretty funny. But next up would have to be Charlotte. Obviously, Key Visual Arts. I'm a god fucking fan of those guys. Like, oh,
Wait,
they make so many
PA
good.
Works is doing this though.
No. It's like Key Visual Arts story. PA Works is just animating it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, hyped about that. And plus PA Works, they do pretty top tier animation in my opinion.
On the other hand, I'm kind of, I don't know. PA Works. Who's directing this? Like, is it PA Works people who are directing this? Because PA Works has a reputation for being,
I
um,
actually don't know.
of being pretty good, but also pretty bad. I think. Didn't PA Works do Glass Lip?
Yeah, I was literally to say Key and Point Glass Slip.
Yeah, like Glass Lip was awful. I will never forgive PA Works for creating that monstrosity, but
トウコ、俺は
待って待って、私に言ってどうするの。
トウコ、
はい。
俺トウコが好きだ。俺トウコのことが好きだ。
どうも。
So the final plot twist is nothing. Absolutely nothing. This anime is pointless, and it's nothing. This, by far, I think is one of the worst finales I have seen from this year of anime. This is really, really, really fucking bad. The only thing that makes this show good, honestly, is Jonathan. That's it. Honestly, I care more about a fucking chicken than I do about the entire cast of characters. The cast of characters are a pile of shit. All of them are. Girl, like, and then you have Yuki, he's like, I want to get all the prayers money.
we'll see.
I had to
they
sit
redeem
through like
themselves in the
12 weeks of this. Oh my
It was
God.
really fun reading the Reddit threads afterwards, though. It was like a fucking.
Yo,
treat.
yeah, it was. Oh man, that was like probably like the highlight of the weekend. Whenever like I got done watching that.
I still remember the scene where David calls out that one kid and he's like, let's have a 1v1 in the schoolyard. I'm like, what the hell? Are they actually gonna fight?
I don't recall much about the show at all. That's how like it didn't
just-
stick with
it's-
me. It was just meh.
One show that I'm looking forward to is Gotchaman Crowd's Insight. Gotchaman, the original Gotchaman Crowds, I didn't like it at first and I dropped it, but someone on Twitter told me to pick it back up. And I actually really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to Crowd's Insight. It's by Tatsunoko Production. I mean,
Just like a second season sort of thing.
yeah, it's a second season. Tatsunoko did Psycho-Pass 2, and Psycho-Pass 2 sucked dick. It was pretty bad. But I'm willing to look at Gotchaman Crowds.
Give them the
I think
benefit of the doubt.
yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it. I feel. I mean, I enjoyed the first season, so.
Definitely excited for that third season of, I'm gonna butcher this name so hard, Fate Collide Liner Prisma Ilia 2Y Hers.
Oh lord.
Oh lordy. Oh lollies, I mean. I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's so entertaining. Like I always had a fun watching the first two seasons, so third season will probably not be any different.
Mana transfers. Anyways.
So next up, are you excited for Gate, or have you even looked at Gate at all?
What's
Jason?
Gate?
Gate. Jeitai Kanochi Neat Kaku Tatakari. I
Where is it?
am gonna butcher this. It's right next after Gachima.
I've never heard of it.
I never heard of it either, but like just looking at it, just
Wait,
the
where?
picture
I
looks
don't
pretty-
see it. Oh, we have different lists. That's why.
How do we have different list? Tisk.
Well. Oh, okay. I see it. I see it. Jietai Kanochi Nita Kaku Takakeri.
That, yeah.
It's by A1 Pictures, so I'm not that hyped for it. A1. It's also a light novel adaptation, so yeah.
Mediocre at best. Moving on.
I mean, it's not guaranteed to be mediocre, but like if you follow recent trends, it's probably going to be mediocre.
I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and then be
Um,
disappointed when I do.
I know a lot of people are hyped for God Eater.
I would be one of them.
Personally, I'm not really all that hype. I mean, it's by Ufotable, which is nice. They have a lot of money. They're drowning in money.
They better be after fucking Unlimited Blade Works. My God.
They're always gonna be drowning in money. But it's a game. It's a game adaptation, and the last game adaptation I saw, Gunslinger Stratos, was possibly one of the worst shows I've ever seen. So, I'm not gonna be that hype.
The worst part is you're so right. Oh my God. How many episodes did you drop it already? I'm pretty sure you dropped it already.
No, I finished it.
Holy shit. Oh my God.
Did you drop it?
Yeah, I dropped it at episode 8, man. I couldn't stand it anymore.
Okay, well, I finished it, and it was really
Holy
bad.
shit.
Like, I actually had an existential crisis while watching it.
What's that mean?
Like, I started to question the meaning of life.
Holy shit.
Um, Another
Oh my
show. I know
God.
David's really hyped for this one. It's called Akami no Shirayuki Hime. It's a romance, and it's historical romance, which doesn't really make sense because
The one
it
by
takes
Bones,
place in a
right?
fantasy country, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's a romance. It looks pretty good, actually. It's done by Bones, and Bones has a pretty good reputation, so we're good there.
After that, yeah, I don't know. I kinda, actually no, Monster Muse. Monster Musume no
Monster
Iru.
Musume.
Yeah, Musume. Obviously, I'm pretty sure me and Lee are gonna be watching that one together, but we'll see how that goes. It looks pretty interesting, funny, whatever. So, we'll see how that one goes.
I know David is also really hyped for Nonon Biori Repeat. I am too. I enjoyed it.
Nanambiori? Or is that?
I think my guilty pleasure this season is going to be Jitsu wa Watashi wa. I've actually been reading. Well, actually, I haven't been reading. I read like 30 or so chapters of the manga, and I actually really enjoy it. It's your average rom-com, but it does a nice spin on like the supernatural, which is nice. I enjoy it. I definitely a lot of the characters, they're pretty standard for like your supernatural stuff, but they're all pretty endearing. And Lee is really hyped for this one. It's called Gakko Gurashi. It's a horror story apparently. I don't know anything about it, and I'm gonna keep it that way because Lee told me to not look anything up, don't watch the PVs or whatever. I haven't even read the summary totally, but yeah, Garashi looks really interesting. What do you think, Tyler?
The prison school one?
No.
Hold up, let me see if I can find it. Gaku. Oh, there we go. The school supernatural. It kind of looks lighthearted, to be honest. I'm
Yeah,
actually
I mean-
surprised that you said that it's a horror sort of anime.
Yeah, apparently it is a horror story, which I didn't understand at first, but
Yeah, like the
according to Lee, it's gonna be
preview
good.
art or whatever here is like it's in a school building and it's like 4 little girls and a little puppy and like even though the school building is broken in half, you figure that hey, it's a supernatural show, so it's probably something weird going on, but
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it would be a horror anime. It's kind of shocking actually.
it's gonna be cool. I think.
Interesting watch. We'll see how that goes. I'm
And I think, is that all that we have going
I've
on
got
here?
one more, but I'm not really sure how it's gonna go. It's Rokai no Yusha, action adventure fantasy. And like the reason why I say I'm not sure how it's gonna go is because I gotten really hyped for Madden Vandus or whatever.
Oh, I thought you said Madden '09. I'm like,
No,
what?
no, I meant like Madden 02 no Vandus. I'm
Yeah,
gonna butcher it.
Madonna Venetis.
Yeah, there you go. I was really hyped for that when it started coming out or whatever, because I was like, I haven't watched a good fantasy show in a while, and I really like the fantasy genre. Like, it's fun to watch, and
Wait, which one is? What's the name?
it's Rokai no Yusha.
Okay, I'll try to find it.
It's like towards the bottom of the any chart list, but yeah, like I gotten really hyped for that fantasy show, and it just kind of was mediocre. So,
Yeah, actually, that show had really bad CGI.
it was a lot better reading it than it was watching it. So,
Particularly that one scene where they're fighting the Persian army, and the studio forgot to model the enemy army, so they were just swinging in the air.
that going back to the one question, CGI, don't do that.
Yeah,
But
don't be like Arslan Senki and Madonna Venetis. Looks like shit.
God bless.
Yeah, I can't find this show at all.
Yeah, let me just copy pasta real fast in Skype. It's at the
Oh wait, no, I found it. It's
yeah,
by
it's at the third
Passion.
Passion.
The legend says when the evil god awakens from the deepest of darkness. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't see Passion, but
Oh, good. It's a light novel.
that's what I was saying. I'm a little skeptical on whether it'll be worth it or not, cause Madon kind of ruined my hype. And then obviously TV shorts, we got Bikini Wars. Hell yeah.
Oh God, please no.
Please, yes. But other than that,
Looking, I'm looking through the chart right now, and it seems that a lot of the adaptations this season are based off of manga. Yeah, I'm going down the list right now, and most of them are manga. They're not actually light novels, which is looking pretty good.
you say that. It's probably true, but you say that.
Actually, so to all of you podcast listeners, you know that I am pretty critical. Yeah, you know that I'm pretty critical, and it's not a secret that I really didn't enjoy a good chunk of the shows that we watched this season. But I've actually made a promise with myself that I'm going to try to enjoy the shows that we watched this season a lot more than a lot more than I usually do. So I'm gonna try to relax a little, like enjoy everything the show gives me. I mean, we'll see how that goes, but like, I'm just gonna try really hard. Just gonna try really, really hard to not hate everything.
Not be a cynical critic as always.
I was gonna say something. I actually totally forgot what the heck. Okay, well,
We still
yeah, I
haven't
think.
even chosen our shows for summer anyway, so
Oh, that's actually what I was gonna say. Summer lineup. We actually have no idea what we're doing. Um, I actually have an announcement for next week. Since spring season is ending, summer is, I mean, kind of officially starting. July. It's gonna be July, so that's a big month for me. So yeah, there's gonna be an announcement from me. So are we pretty much done at this point? I think we are.
I think we're pretty much done at this point.
Yeah, sorry for this like random section that we like tagged on at the end. It's just that we didn't want to just rehash all the stuff we did on the first Duocast, and we also didn't want to just leave you guys with no content
Like,
for the third
I
week in a row.
definitely tried to get that going out, but copyright claims, so
Yeah,
here we are again today.
yeah. So sorry about that. We didn't really mean to mess that up.
Besides
Um,
all this bad news, though, or upsetting talk, sad talk,
Oh yeah, good
next
news.
week, spring finale, got
It's
something
going
big
down for
planned.
real.
We're going hard in the paint this time, so be ready for that.
Also,
really
thank
excited.
you for 50 subscribers. I actually forgot to mention that.
Again.
Uh, yeah, again.
He forgot to mention it last time we recorded too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for 50 subs. We actually fluctuated for a while, going from 50 to 49 to back to 50. Um, we would definitely like to get more subscribers, but 50 is a pretty good number. And we're happy that you guys like our stuff. If you, as always, if you like our stuff, subscribe, like, comment. Definitely comment. I like reading comments. And tell your anime friends or your friends who like anime that we're a thing and they should listen to us.
We're pretty good at what we do. But yeah, like we say 50 like it's a huge accomplishment, and for us it is, but like comparing it to other people, it's kind of like we're a little low. But you gotta start from the bottom. You can't like start the middle of the mountain. You gotta start from the bottom of the mountain and make your way to the top. And we're aiming for the top. We're going straight line all the way to the top. Might be bumps
Yep.
on the road ahead, little cliffhangers, but we'll get there. The top's in our reach.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Again, we apologize for the lack of presence. I've been meaning to post on Reddit about the podcast, but because I'm 3 hours behind from when I usually am, I usually end up missing the thread. Unfortunately. Yeah, so, I mean, with next week, we'll be back in form, hopefully. We'll do the spring finale, Are we going to rate the shows? I've already rated most of the shows, but yeah. It's going to be a good
definitely
time.
Down for rating, but
Yeah. It's going to be a fun time. Hope you guys are there to listen to it. Yeah, we really appreciate you guys coming back and listening to our stuff. This is like the end. We're pretty much done at this point. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Follow either the channel Twitter or my Twitter. And make sure you ask questions. I cannot stress this enough. Please ask us questions. Like, I love getting on Twitter and seeing the notification, the bell, light up with a number. I love seeing that because I like questions. Ask us questions pretty much anywhere. It doesn't even have to be anime-related questions. It can be like personal for me or Tyler or whatever. I mean, both of us don't really care. And if you want more Duocasts, unfortunately, this is kind of like a special thing that we decided to do. The original idea came a long while ago when we didn't have enough people to do anything. So we did the Duocast this week. Probably won't happen for a long time due to some things. It's gonna, but the earliest time we can do another Duocast probably like sometime in September. But anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, ask us questions anywhere you can, any questions, I don't care. And we will see you guys later. Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys for listening.